First, I will correct many misconceptions, whether scientific or familiar inherited concepts. I will start with the concept of multiverse. Every human being lives in his own universe through his thoughts, and every thought that comes from your mind comes from a real world. The multiverse I am talking about are not the worlds that researchers in science talk about which they have a wrong concept due to the material intellectual restrictions that affect the practitioners of this science. They think that multiverse is like the rooms of a house existing like this universe that you see exist, while this is not the case because science, which relies only on experimentation to reach facts, believes that what we can see and measure is everything in this existence. The multiverse is the world of ideas. The ideas you hold in your mind create a world and a universe of your own. I will call these worlds spaces, because they are like a flat surface in mathematics. This surface expresses a level of human consciousness, and each level of consciousness contains mathematical laws that differ in their nature and essence and in the way they affect the universe and human reality in general. They are mental laws. The mind can be defined as the universe itself. The mind represents everything in this universe. Everything is rational. Even solid matter has a mind. Trees and the things made around you also have a mind. Since it has a mind, this means that it has language and sounds, but we do not understand them with normal consciousness, because it is a language whose nature varies according to the nature of the dimensions in which it operates, but they can be captured and translated into understandable signals. Perhaps this talk is strange to your ears and cannot be accepted, due to the limited awareness that governs people in this era, and thus the limited knowledge that governs them. But the concept of an object does not depend on its body and material form, but rather depends primarily on its essence and the dimensions in which it operates, even if we see it with our eyes. Here we must redefine the human being in particular and the mind in general. Let's go back to the topic of awareness that I represented at the mathematical level. I will talk about the most important philosophical principle that is as old as humanity. I will explain it in detail, and the essence of its concept will be present in most of my videos in which I will explain my ideas, because it is very necessary, and the person who understands it will understand and know everything and about anything. Based on this, I will address correcting the concept of knowledge in humans in another video after this one, because it is closely linked to these ideas that I explain. What is knowledge? What does knowledge express in humans? This philosophical principle that sums everything up says, that which is above is like to that which is below, and that which is below is like to that which is above. Or, in other words, as above, so below. This principle explains the concept of similarity. I will use the concept of fractals in mathematics to explain what this similarity is exactly, and what its nature and essence are. But be assured that, through this knowledge, I will explain and interpret everything, about anything and in any specialty. Through it, I will unify all the knowledge and specializations that seem to you to be separate from each other and very far from each other. Remember, everything is proven by new mathematical laws that are infinitely more general and comprehensive than mathematics and its known laws, even if its applications govern reality and the universe that we see, but not always as is believed by the common people. But all of this requires new terms other than the terms that are used, whether scientifically or with people when they talk. Every person who hears the words that explain these ideas will feel their strangeness. And this time, this knowledge is not like any other knowledge. And as I mentioned, through it, I will expand the perceptions of humanity so that they can know themselves who they are as a human being and take them out of the framework of limitation to the unlimited, and this means enriching human knowledge. I will also address difficult scientific concepts such as dark matter. What is it? What is its nature? I will explain the dual nature of elementary particles and what their wave nature before measurement and particle nature after measurement mean. I will explain the concept of parallel universes. I will explain the true concept of life and death, knowledge and ignorance, right and wrong, up and down, everything and its opposite. Explain the true meaning of opposites in this existence. What is the reason that creates a thing and its opposite, and how are they created? Through this, we will understand the divisions in nature and why they occur, such as cell division. As for how they occur, we know that As for physics, whose field of specialization is the study of the physical aspect only and cannot look beyond that, this is what makes it completely wrong, no matter how it appears to them that it works in reality. A science that is content with studying matter and neglects the subjective experience of each human being, and the conscious observer, who is the one who makes that experience, is the observer himself through his consciousness, then this science is without the slightest doubt contradictory to itself and completely wrong, even misleading. Therefore, I will reformulate the concept of the frame of reference in mathematics and physics, in the study of the universe and the things around us. Considering physical objects such as a vehicle, a planet, or any other object as a reference in the study of physical phenomena is completely ridiculous, and a person who knows this with absolute certainty will laugh at the absurdity of the idea, and at the same time he will remain amazed at the delusion of the idea and how it is misleading in people's minds through what is called today science. That is why I have come to see it as my duty, as a human being, to convey these ideas, to free people from the worldly illusion that they are attached to, and to improve their reality and their morals in this way, so that my conscience does not blame me severely for knowing knowledge that benefits people, and I did not convey it to them. I will try to convey as much of it as possible, but the mathematics that proves this, I will leave it until further notice, until it is registered as intellectual property, and then I will publish it. So fasten your seatbelts, because I am going to transport you to another world that is completely different from everything you have known, a real world. At the same time, I will prove that the worlds are the world of ideas. Even our visible world is ideas embodied in the form of solid matter. There is no metaphor or simile in my words. There is no longer any metaphor in my words. Rather, everything has become for me a reality. No matter how impossible it seems, what seems impossible to you is only impossible for the world that restricts your awareness. But it is possible for worlds and levels of consciousness higher than the world's and ordinary familiar awareness.